Oh, please. Okay, well, looks like you're gonna get a lot of help here. Category is people who annoy you. Audience, keep quiet, please. 10 seconds, Mr. Marsh.
I know it, but I don't think I should say it.
5 seconds, Mr. Marsh.
Alright, I'd like to solve the puzzle. Niggers!
It's always been about race. Hello and welcome. I'm your host, whiteologist, MrBlowsurmind, bringing you my listeners the issues, problems, debate, perspective, analysts, advocacy, opinions on the matters of race in our world, and whether you're black, white, red, yellow, brown, or pink. These are the taboos that hide beneath the surface and lurks with evil intentions. My show is to bring out these truths and reveal the hidden so that our world may have a much better understanding of why this illness has permeated our world and through what means does it exist in. Does race hide itself under politics, religion, labor, law, sex, war, education, entertainment? My topic for the day, for to piss a lot of y'all off, man, because I think y'all out here cooning, buffooning, and acting like y'all just so damn selfish and just cold-hearted. I mean, we done had in the last month or so several black men who've been killed execution style, and we got black people out here pouring fucking buckets of ice water on their head, calling it some kind of damn challenge. I'll say that again. We got black people with all the killing that's going on. With Ferguson, the choked out brother that was in New Jersey or Staten Island, and several other brothers. Well, I won't get into all the names at this point because everybody know who they are. But for all you who went out here and doing this bucket challenge and talking about how you giving to ALS, I want to ask you a question. See, this inferiority complex that people have. See, when issues that need to be addressed and talked about, and those who are in the public's eye supposed to be these icons, everybody's hiding under a bucket ice challenge. See, it's easier just to pour a bucket of ice and some water on your damn head and calling it for some cause than to really voice out against the atrocity that is being laid before our eyes. And a lot of y'all should be a damn shame of yourself. You should be so ashamed of yourself that this might be the preliminaries of with the Michael Brown case and all the stuff that needs to be gathered up in order for them to supposedly, it was hoping, I thought they were trying to arraign, right? But obviously that's being prolonged because what's happening is this symbolicalness of this ice water bucket challenge. Let's break it down. Let's see if you fell for the okie doke. Now, when you're talking about consciousness and when you're talking about brain power, where does that house or seat reside at? Does it not sit on the top of what you call a head of yours? And so, symbolically, based on these continuances of occurrences of atrocity amongst black men through these authorities, We took the op way out instead of having to rally behind, and those supposed to be the icons of the people speak out. Use your so-called star power to voice out the injustices. But no, that's not what you're going to do. What you're going to do is take a bucket of ice water and pour it over your peasy ass head to freeze your mind so that you could be unconscious for enough to forget about what all done happened. You could take a lot of names of these so-called people who call themselves stars and people who look to them as iconic as if this means something. Let me tell you something. This shit is bullshit. Y'all know it's bullshit. These people don't care shit about you or what goes on as a black nation. They doing everything to have to divert it, because you got to ask yourself, why did this shit, all of a sudden this bucket challenge shit come out when it was in the heat of the moment of what the fuck was happening? And so to deal with this or not to deal with it, this was the way to divert the society from looking at the atrocity. It was a diversion tactic. And how many of you sat out here and who were doing this and talking about challenging? I challenge you to voice out against the atrocities that's happening out here. Pouring damn ice water in your damn head. You already cold-headed as it is. You don't need no extra shit on top of it. But this is what y'all do. You call yourself that y'all supposed to be, well, we're black and we're the black nation and we care about black people. We donate to black causes. But you ain't going to say nothing to jeopardize your star status, because you know the minute you do, your ass is washed up. And you did so much ass kissing in your damn life that you do not want to have to be back down there with the people that you despise the most. I'm going to say that shit again. These people did so much ass kissing in their damn life to the fact that they ain't going to voice out in any opposition, because the minute they do, their ass is washed up, and if they do, they'll have their ass back down with you, and they really internally hate you. You can have $1 billion, and you can say all the people you're going to sit out here and you want to challenge on the bucket test, but you ain't going to voice out nothing in regards to the atrocities that are happening by these authorities doing what they're doing to our people. Now, some of you who may hear this say, well, it's funny, black people want to jump on the bandwagon and talk about when police and the brutality against black men, but black men are killing black men. I'm going to tell you, I'm going to say this one time, I'm going to say it one time only. When family fight, it's a family affair. If anybody outside the family do it, we're supposed to galvanize to do what, y'all? You feel what I'm saying? Now, I really didn't want to come out and say too much about this for the simple fact that I just think that it is very, very asinine for this challenge, and the people are going all out their way talking about for a cure or to donate part of this so-called challenge, when if we saying that somebody who can outrightly kill you in open amongst most people and is justifiable, is this not an illness? Is this a bucket challenge? Or are you afraid to say that? Are you afraid that I don't want to seem to be calling the spade the spade? There's a lot of people who are disagreeing with a lot of things that Martin Luther King said. The one thing that King said about people who become onlookers, a nation of onlookers is what we've become. We pull out our damn cell phones, our cameras, and we video record and we taping it, but that's all. See, once somebody has studied, okay, when you look at arts of wars, and you understand the psychology of your opponent, you know what he's capable of and what he's incapable of doing. And let me tell you something. I've been seeing lately a lot of these pranks, what these cats are doing on these videos, and they seem to be more geared towards using black people in situations that normally you would take a stance, but somehow you kowtow them, as if you have no backbone, no strength, anything as a stance to take when people are doing wrong to you. Let me give you an example. There was a particular video I seen where a white dude was on the phone, and what he said was this. He said he was talking to somebody as if he was like arguing with them, and said that he was describing himself, not himself, but he was looking at a brother and saying that the brother was him. And he did it so that the brother would know that he said it. So the brother's looking like, wait, damn, did you not just give my description out? And so the brother is kind of like looking, you know what I'm saying, and like hesitant. And next thing you know, a crowd of white dudes run up on him and was like, hey, did you not just say, when I just talked to you on the phone, didn't you just tell me? And the reaction that they're doing is a inferior position. Don't get me wrong. I'm not saying that if you was in a situation that should happen to you, that you're not trying to address it to deal with the situation. You understand what I'm saying? But why did they feel like this was a good prank to be doing on black people? Because white people are saying consciously and subconsciously that black people are the whooping people, that we can do whatever we want to do to them. We can kill them, we can disenfranchise them, we can enslave them, we can do whatever we want to them, and it's acceptable. They will not retaliate. Now, am I asking you to go out here and to take into arms? That's not what I'm saying here. What I'm saying is, at least be vocal. At least take a stance. Marching has its symbolism, but that's about all it's going to do. Boycotting is one aspect, but then there's a point that we're going to have to reevaluate, and we're going to have to say, what is the standard we're going to allow to accept, and what are we going to not accept? This is going to have to become the mindset. Now, I know people saying that this kind of talk can be considered rebel-rousing talk. Well, I'm trying to rebel your spirit to get a backbone. Because we got people who are in positions of entertainment, labor law, you know what I'm saying? And they'd rather do a fucking bucket challenge than to have their ass full powered up, get all of the so-called elitist blacks, bougies, and make a stance and a statement that we are not going to tolerate this anymore. But I understand the brother may not have been the most law-abiding citizen, according to what people are trying to to really display him as. But that's for to each his own. But regardless to the situation, is anybody justified being killed in that circumstance? is the point. See, when you look at it from the other side of the board, let's say, they just showed that reporter a couple days ago who they beheaded, right? They beheaded him. Now, this country is going through every comb, sand, hill, haystack, needle in a haystack, and they're saying, we're going to find the one who perpetrated this act. And there's nothing less than death is what he's going to get. Now, when you kill one of them, look how they go after you. When they said Bin Laden did what he did, and they went and they did what they did white people go out in the street and celebrate that shit?
As hundreds took part in the
celebration. I'm proud of the guys that were willing to go out there and take care of business.
It's a great hour for USA, great day for USA.
Now that he's finally dead, it feels good.
USA! 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 USA!
Excited about somebody's death is a weird feeling, but when it comes to him, it's all right.
But they're always telling us to get over some shit. All y'all need to get is shit. Sorry it happened. Get over it. But see, when it comes to them, it's a different standard.
U.S. Army training to fight black Americans. Actual video up on Infowars.com. I shot a 20-minute overdrive, almost 30-minute special report last night that aired after the nightly news. The news is always 30 minutes long, but when it's extended, when the main news ends, some stations are already carrying, not just affiliate PrisonPlanet.tv viewers. We then go into, for just online viewers, an extra expanded overdrive, and we did a very important breakdown of this. It's regular Army training, battling black people in the drills. And I made a big deal about it when we saw some of this training a few years ago where it was only white people. So they're just training to attack certain ethnic groups. And again, we're not demonizing the military even here. If they don't like what's going on, they're freaking out.
Is forcibly trying to lock somebody up for breaking up a fight.
Everybody standing here, I didn't do nothing. I did not sell nothing. Because every time you see me, you want to harass me, you want to stop me, try to sell a cigarette. I'm minding my business, officer. I'm minding my business. Please just leave me alone. I told you the last time, please just leave me alone. Hold on. Don't touch me, please. Don't touch me. Damn. All right, stop.
Put your hand behind your back. I can't breathe. 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 I can't breathe.
All he did was break up a fight. And this is what happens for breaking up a fight.
The document
This shit is
publicly says they're preparing for full-scale riots across the U.S. and to use lethal force against unarmed, non-violent Americans, and how to shoot them in the spine or the heart or the testicles, depending on how you want to terrorize the public.
And what you don't realize is Chicago has been set up now to be the center of what you're just witnessing in Missouri. Now hear me, because I'm finished. So every day there's some killing. Senator Kirk, Senator Durbin, we're going to raise millions of dollars from Congress because we got to go to Chicago and we're going to arrest 18,000 gangster disciples. They already got the prisons and the concentration camps ready. Listen. The former police chief in Chicago that was an FBI officer, Jody Weiss, he and the black officers came to have lunch with me at the National House. And the black officers were talking to me about good community police relations. And it sounded real good, and certainly as a man that wants to see our people safe, I said, that sounds good. But then I said, this train is running on 2 tracks. But the other track you didn't say nothing about. Now I want to talk about that track. I said, Mr. Weiss, I read that you ordered 17,000 automatic rifles with hollow point bullets, armor-piercing bullets for your police. Did I make a mistake? Did I read something incorrectly? No. I said, well, tell me, what are you expecting?
As you know, for a long time, we have been warning you about the globalist plan to militarize our police and to stage and provocateur crises across the United States to bring in what can only be called a permanent state of martial law and political oppression. In the last month, I have warned you that the latest crisis Obama and his controllers want to stage is a race war in this country to be the cover for the MRAPs, the helicopters, the drones, the sound cannons to be rolled out against the American people in general.
That you would arm your police like that. And I said, you know, Superintendent or Chief, said, I also read that most of the police departments in the major cities are being trained by Blackwater, which is a mercenary group that they use in Iraq.
He went behind the pole and stepped into a building.
Guy in the wall running?
Yep. Got a group of 3. They're all running now. Well, we got lots of... See the guy in white? He's going too fast. Now they're hauling ass. Got that.
Got a big group coming.
Yep.
On the wall. Squeezing off.
Goldberg, this is Doc. I'm on building 2.
Wow, you got a whole group of them. We got a bunch of bad guys at 12 o'clock, 800 meters from building. Got about 15 of them on the run up here.
Okay, I hit the top of the building right below the guy's head.
Roger.
Pyro, say again that location.
Negative, he cleaned them all out.
And they're training police. Did you hear me? Now all the police forces are being given weapons that are only used in military theaters of war. So when you see the police armed like they are, that's not to serve and protect. That is to kill. Now, I don't know whether you have that picture upstairs of the group that the military force that came against the people in Missouri. Could you show it? When I saw that come up, I looked in the faces of those police, and you could see the hate in their eyes. And one of them was standing there saying, "Bring it on." They have a desire to kill us wholesale. Now, Chicago is going to be the epicenter of what they're about to do. You know why?
American man believed to be fighting as a jihadist has been killed in Syria. So let me bring in CNN's chief national security correspondent Jim Sciutto with me right now. Jim, what do we know about this American?
Well, this is a remarkable story, and it's an alarming story. I've just spoken to the uncle of an American, Douglas MacArthur McCain, 33-year-old from San Diego, California, and his uncle Kenneth tells me that the family was notified by the State Department yesterday that Douglas McCain was killed fighting as a jihadi, a holy warrior in Syria over the weekend. His uncle Kenneth tells me, quote, that the family is devastated, and he says they are just surprised as the country now that his nephew, that their son was killed fighting there for these extremist groups. He gave some more details as well on it. He said that he was raised a Christian, Douglas MacArthur McCain. He converted to Islam a number of years ago. Douglas MacArthur McCain. He converted to Islam. He converted to Islam a number of years ago. He converted to Islam a number of years ago. At the time, didn't raise any alarm bells with the family. Said they respect all religions, and he seemed to be committed to his faith. More recently, the family became aware that he began to post on websites, Facebook, Twitter, postings that were sympathetic to ISIS and other extremist groups there. They also say that he traveled to Turkey recently, but when he traveled to Turkey, they did not know that he was going to continue on into Syria. They say that he liked to travel, but that when he went to Turkey, that was the last contact that the family had with him. So, you know, this is something that intelligence officials have been talking to me and other colleagues at CNN for a number of months. This great concern about foreigners joining the fight in Syria with jihadi groups there, including ISIS. It's believed that 100 Americans are in that group now, more than 1,000 Europeans. So this would be one of those Americans that went there, and he dies.
Do we know, was he fighting with ISIS or against ISIS?
We're waiting for confirmation to find out which of these jihadi groups that he was fighting for at the time. You know, alarming under any circumstances, certainly. You may remember the case, there was a case a short time ago of an American from Florida who was killed dying as a suicide bomber. He set off a truck bomb in Syria fighting for another one of these extremist groups, al-Nusra. You know, a similar story. A kid raised in the U.S. This one, I believe, was raised a Muslim. Here was one who was raised a Christian. He converted at a later time. But this is of tremendous concern to U.S. intelligence officials, to administration officials, because ISIS is a threat in its own right. It's taken over enormous parts of Syria and Iraq, but it has this secondary threat as well, that it has attracted so many foreigners, and the concern is what happens when those foreigners go home. It is the belief of U.S. intelligence officials that I've spoken to, and I've got a number of briefings on this concern, that they may be being trained and encouraged when they return home to carry out attacks on the U.S. homeland. And this is one thing, it's an enormous fear, and this is one thing that has raised the prospect now of U.S. airstrikes on ISIS, not just in Iraq, but also in Syria. It's a great concern, and here you have an American who went there, and he died.
Terror group ISIS has just been identified. Sources tell Fox News this man, Abdirahman Muhammad, was killed in Syria. He grew up in Minnesota before being killed in battle last week, along with another American, Douglas McCain. And now we're learning some shocking new information about McCain and a third American terrorist killed in the Middle East 5 years ago. Marianne Rafferty reports that those two went to high school together. Marianne?
Well, that's right, Ainsley. One high school, two American terrorists. New details emerging about American jihadist Douglas McCain. He was killed fighting for ISIS in Syria over the weekend, but it turns out he wasn't the only terrorist to come from Robbinsdale Cooper High School in Minnesota. This family photo shows McCain with his one-time best friend and classmate, Tori Castigar. Friends say the two were inseparable. Both loved basketball and were well-liked. But 10 years later, Castigar was killed fighting for the extremist group Al-Shabaab in Somalia in 2009. Before his death, he was even featured in an Al-Shabaab recruitment video.
If you guys only knew how much fun we have over here, this is the real Disneyland.
One man met McCain a couple of times at Minneapolis mosques, and he says at least 10 Minnesotans in the Somali community have been recruited to fight for ISIS in Syria.
Douglas McCain wasn't the first one, and unfortunately he won't be the last.
But could there already be a third terrorist from Robbinsdale Cooper High School? This video of a Syrian sniper shows the gunman wearing a sweatshirt that says Cooper Hawks, the same as the Minnesota High School's mascot. ISIS recruitment goes well beyond Minnesota. The White House says the terror group has drawn people from more than 50 countries. Ainsley, Leah?
Wow, that is interesting. Thanks so much, Marianne Rafferty, live for us.
They really want to kill Farrakhan. But I'm saying this to the government, you know, I'm not running from you. I'm here to die. But what will happen to you? See, I'm not no Rudy Poop fella that's just out here running his mouth. I'm backed by a power that can destroy you in the twinkling of an eye.
And that's so embedded in the psyche of so many people. That's why they walk around, because they have a shield that's already been planted in most people's mind that regardless to what has been done, you will not touch me. You will not touch me. But I have all the authority, law, and I have what he believes to be the God-given right, the superiority in his mind to do as he please with you. And we say, we just gonna pray and give it to the Lord. I understand the odds are stacked. I understand that the guns are piled up. I understand it's like, well, what do you want us to do, Mr. Blows Your Mind? I don't want you throwing no fucking ice water in your damn head either. Because it just seems that so many people are doing this as like some kind of stance to something irrelevant to the fact of what's truly going on. Somebody threw this in there to divert you and those who should be speaking, so they came up with a way so that they wouldn't, and this shows the dumbness of the damn masses of the damn society that you all follow like Simon Says, and you don't even see this shit. This shit is crazy. But anyway, I'm gonna let it be. Ice bucket challenge. I be damned. Motherfuckers is out here pouring water on their damn head like that is going to help magically do some shit. Anything but address and deal with the issues at hand. I tell you, your ancestors are very, very disappointed with y'all. They should be disappointed at you. They should be ashamed of you. Because you don't even have no pride for your own damn self. You done brainwashed yourself to the ideology that if you say something, you're a racist, that you're hateful, you're a hate monger, Who threw that reverse psychology on you? See, let me tell you something. And white people, you listening to me. Let me tell you something about you white people here in the United States. Y'all are some funny individuals. I have this channel here, and some of the stuff that some of you white people be saying as if like, well, without white people, if they go extinction, that if black people could not survive if white people were not here. Let me tell you something. We were surviving before you were even on the damn planet. Medicine, science, and all that existed long before you came. I don't understand where these white Americans get their so-called information from, but I know what it really is. It's this superior complex in them that they have to uphold because they know the damn truth.
Hey,